Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 5 of 3 Minutes of Growth. So we're in this conversation of emotions, right? In last episode, I had the visual aid of the big trash can, the sack of shit, as our collected emotions. And what happens when we're carrying them around, they just become heavier and heavier. And when they get poked, they all come out. And for men, this is incredibly important because, we're taught that emotions are not okay. We're taught that from a very early age, and it's usually from other men who don't feel comfortable with their emotions. So they tell us, don't cry. They tell us, don't be a wussy, or don't be a word that rhymes with that one that starts with a P, because that's the worst thing that we can be called. That's the worst way that we can be viewed by other men. So what we do is we try to pretend that we don't have emotions, but we all do. So when we have emotions, but we're not supposed to have the emotions, then we have to hide them. We have to cover them up. And what that does is it creates so much pressure inside. Now, this isn't anything necessarily different than what women do, but with men, we just have such a pressure to perform and be strong. And strength means you don't have any emotions, you don't have any weakness, you don't have any fears. But we all do. And so we're so afraid of being vulnerable, because if we're found out, then we might lose this crazy idea of a man card. We might be pushed away from the man tribe, the manhood. And so not only do we stuff our emotions, but when the masculine energy is hurt, it tends to hurt as a response. When the feminine energy is hurt, it tends to retreat. I'll get into that later in another video. But when the masculine energy is hurt, it wants to hurt back. It wants to hurt somebody else so that it can take its strength back. And the wounded masculine energy usually does that by abusing somebody else, by victimizing somebody else. And when these emotions are stuffed up inside of us as men, man, when it comes out with rage. It comes out with violence. And we turn into people that we don't really truly are, that we're not sometimes, because we can't handle that kind of emotion. So the amount of intensity that is a powder keg for so many men. So again, the answer is the same. We got to express those emotions so that our bodies can let them out and they don't get trapped inside. Because when men tend to hurt, we tend to hurt outward. We tend to hurt other people. We tend to hurt externally. Whereas women are more programmed to hurt themselves, hurt internally. Not that men don't hurt themselves, and men commit suicide actually even more than women in terms of finishing the job. But it's even more important that we men have a safe place in front of other men to show our emotions. So I think what we need as a society of men is to hug other men, to love other men, to express that love, to express that nurturing, the safe masculine nurturing that most of us didn't get as we were growing up, either by our fathers or in our sports teams or by society. So that's why we need this safe space, and it's up to us as men to provide that space for other men to be vulnerable. It's actually the strongest form of masculinity is vulnerable masculinity. But we've been taught the opposite. So let me know what you think. Please share if you know somebody that needs this message. And I'll see you in episode number 6.